The second T, time. Time. The famed French entomologist Jean-Henri Fabre conducted a series of experiments on some processionary caterpillars, so named because they follow each other, forming a never-ending cycle. And Jean-Henri Fabre decided to put some food of caterpillars, some delicacies, some food they really like, right in the middle of the procession. Despite the food being so near them, about 6 inches away, they went round and round and round in cycles, believing they were getting closer and closer and closer to the food. They could sense the food. They could smell the food. But 7 days later, they all dropped dead out of starvation and exhaustion. Why? Because they confused motion with meaning. They confused movement with progress. They confused activities for accomplishments. They confused processes for results. Busy, but no evidence of what they have acquired the last 3 years. And some of you listening to me here, if I ask you to be honest and take stock of the last 5 years, what tangible thing have you accomplished? It's not enough to be busy. So are the bees. The question is, you're busy doing what? There's no point in measuring speed if you're headed in the wrong direction. You see, time does not mark time. Time will not wait you to correct yourself and recollect who you are. Time moves on. Time has no emotions. We cannot teach time emotional intelligence. Time doesn't care the emotions you're going through. Let me just take a case. Assume there are two farmers. One is going through a very exciting emotion. The daughter is doing a wedding. On my left is another farmer who is burying his loved one, his spouse, the love of his wife. These are two extreme emotions. If these farmers come from an area where they plant cabbages, cabbages don't care that this farmer is mooning and this one is celebrating. Time moves on. It doesn't get into your emotions. So what do you do about time? I want to suggest some 3 quick tips. Number 1, account for each day. Account for each day. I believe with all my heart that the greatest difference between the rich and the poor is not how they spend their money, but how they spend their time. On Sunday night, I was coming from Kisumu. I was speaking there the whole weekend. We had an amazing weekend. I received a phone call around 8:30 from Tabitha. Unfortunately, I was already in the plane, so I told her I'm in the plane. Can I call you when I get down? She agreed. And when I landed in Nairobi, I called her, and she wanted to know what time we'll be finishing because she has another engagement at 9. Do you know what was happening? Though she didn't tell me, I realized she's checking her week's agenda. She's trying to put her week into perspective. So she's checking day by day. And then she realized in the course of the week, she was meant to come for this conference. Meanwhile, there is someone listening to me here tonight who is not sure what they will be doing tomorrow. If you can hear me and you're not sure what you'll be doing tomorrow, as Dennis would put it, your day and your time is up for grabs by the highest bidder. You are disaster waiting to occur. My conviction is this. Decide what you're going to do in your life. Every single year, have some clear goals because 31st of December this year, irrespective of what you do or do not do, you will have results. Decide what results you want by 31st of December. Then every single quarter, every single 90 days, then every single week. Plan every week the week before. Plan every day the night before. Don't wake up to decide what to do today because you're going to adjust your priorities conveniently. Plan each day the night before. Plan each week the weekend before. My second advice about time. Learn to say no. Learn to focus. Focus is the ability to say no. Wisdom is not just knowing what to do, but more importantly, knowing what not to do. Retrain your social networks that you're not an abundance in waiting for their emergencies. Every time they're looking for someone to fix their issues, you're just a call away. Thirdly, don't do major activities on minor time and don't do minor activities on major time. For instance, don't get into social media during your working hours. Don't allow time stealers to sneak through gadgets. Learn to work offline. Switch off that TV. You know, when I was going through Erastus' book, Guard Your Heart Password, I came across some very powerful truths about time. Erastus, please, could you just share two of them with us?
There is no important day than the other. Every day has 24 hours. The difference is the choices you make and what you do within the 24 hours. Everybody is always available, but you choose where to be available. You choose to be here. You are only unavailable when you die. When you take care of a day, you take care of the year. Time cannot be stored. It cannot be renewed. You cannot stop time. You cannot negotiate with time. You cannot plead with time. You cannot insure or be assured by time. In fact, you cannot borrow or sell time. You cannot even lend time. You cannot buy. There is no amount of money in this world that can give you back your time. The only thing you can do to time is to spend it. In fact, you cannot even save time or lose time. You can only spend. The difference is you spend it doing what? When you do nothing, you have still spent time by doing nothing. And when you think that nothing is happening, the clock is still ticking. That time when you think that nothing much is happening, remember, something is happening somewhere else. You cannot hold the hands of time. And you see, time is like a river. You cannot touch the same flow twice. The flow that has gone is already gone. That is why some of us as business people, we have gone to an extent of even writing within a business premises that if you have nothing to do, don't do it here. If you are very busy having a project called nothing, and you're looking for a venue where you want to go and implement this big project called nothing, please look for an alternative venue, because people who have nothing to do should not be doing it here. Because when you do nothing, nothing will happen as an event. That nothing will still happen. So unless you take care of the time, unless you gauge your success in your work through the unit of a day and guard a day, you look at your annual goals and realize that you didn't achieve anything. Because the way to measure time in the best way is to look at it in terms of a day. No hour, no minute is more precious than the other. No day is important than any other day. They are only important decisions. It is not Monday to Sunday that defines who you become. It is what you do with the Monday to Sunday. It is your decisions that make the difference. Time is an equalizer, but our actions are the differentiators. The rich and the poor both have time, both have 24 hours, but they don't get the same results. Even if you remove the battery to your watch, the time will still move on. Time has the greatest element of integrity. It negotiates with no one, it respects no one, it just moves on. Whether you show up or not, time just moves on. When you think nothing is happening, something is happening at the clock. The clock is ticking. Take us to the next element, the train, because you have to take time to train yourself.
Number 3, train.